Germany versus Hungary. That is our next best of 3 here for the European Nexus Games. I couldn't be more excited because I've got a soft spot for my German countrymen here in this tournament. And to be honest, they were giving a lot of slack before the tournament started. Nobody really knew how strong they would become, how strong they would show up, but they surprised a lot of people, gotta admit myself included, and won their first series against Denmark, who we just witnessed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, impressive, impressive.
It caught us.
I want to hear a little bit more excitement, Bakery.
No, thank you.
Can you at least help me out here, Tetra, or?
I am so hyped for Hungary.
That is fair. That is fair, man. I mean, in all honesty, though, we got to give Hungary a lot of credit. They played an incredible first series a couple of days earlier.
They really did. They put on a great show. We talked up Carsey quite a bit, and he showed us that it is well deserved. And we still think he has some tricks to bring us.
Absolutely. Speaking of tricks to be potentially brought to this series, there was a little bit of a banter going on between the two teams on Twitter. Nunia, the German captain, said they would feel Junkrat today, and Carsey responded with a very, let's say, disheartened response.
Yeah, please no, I think was the response.
That was the general sentiment, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Junkrat, though? We're going to talk to him, or we're going to talk about him a little bit later. But first, we're going to go on to that first battleground, or the first picks and bans phase. And I'm really excited because the German team is known to be a little bit out of the ordinary. And take a guess. I'll give you a little bit of a tip.
The battleground out of the ordinary. Is it one of the ones we haven't seen yet? So
give it a shot. Come on.
I'm going with Warhead.
I'm going to go Mines.
You're both wrong. It is going to be Black Hearts. Yeah! And that's, of course, the cool thing about the Nexus games. The community had the chance to vote their favorite battlegrounds in, or maybe they just wanted to see players suffer. One of the two.
I mean,
I'd say the latter one, though. Black Hearts Bay is a very weird map in competitive. We haven't seen it since, I believe, way back in 2016 Gamescom.
It's not in the HSC map pool.
So. Yeah, I mean, we have, however, seen some of the most spectacular games in Heroes of the Storm professional play history. For example, Na'Vi from back in the day with the Butcher Falstad comp. That was very fun.
I think DreamHack winner 2015,
I think it was that was on the road to Blizzard.
Was it even
No, I think it was Prague, yeah.
All right.
We're going way back, guys. Yeah, we can't quite remember what's going on.
This might be before some of your times if you joined Heroes 2.0. But for now, Black Hearts Bay. So things we know about this map: PvE, very effective. Just farming up those coins can be really good. And some good solo lane control potentially, or potentially duo laners to hold top and mid.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this map is that once you get ahead and once you get coins, there is almost no reason for you to be anywhere near the enemy team. And that's a style that's going to favor Hungary, I think. We saw them against... who did they play? I forgot.
They played against Belgium.
Yeah.
We saw them against wait, did they?
No, Denmark.
Denmark. We saw them against Denmark, and they absolutely came out and they prepared extremely well, and they had the strategy on lockdown, it seemed. That's something that's going to favor them on this map. They're going to amass the coins, and they're going to play super passive and control the game.
And admittedly, it's going to be a little bit tricky to find a favorite here, because the votes are open, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to support the German team, who basically presented you this battleground here by picking it, type in hashtag DEWin. If you think their opponents are going to take the cake, if you think Hungary is going to be the better team, then type hashtag HuWin.
Sounding a bit biased there, Kendrick, you know? Can't convince me to vote for them because they picked the battleground?
I mean, I can't vote right now, unfortunately, without anyone noticing it, so...
Yeah, it's Kendrick slowly slides behind the screen.
To be honest, though, I would probably bet against Germany as well if I had to put real money on the line, because Hungary looks so good, and Carsey easily becomes my favorite player of the tournament thus far.
At the same time, though, Tracer being picked up, Nunia, that's his favorite hero.
Yeah. We were talking about it so much in the first series that Germany played, and they didn't bring it out for us. They didn't show it off. Now they bring it out against Hungary, though. Nunia gonna show us why we are so excited about this.
So, there's a couple of things to say about Tracer. I mean, we've seen her on a variety of battlegrounds in this tournament alone. We haven't seen her in Black Hearts Bay in a long time. Ever, maybe even.
The thing you have to keep in mind, she is very good at breaking chests, and that gives her fantastic control of the first minute or two of this battleground.
Yeah.
However, there is no Tassadar.
We will forge.
And there is a Varian on the other hand. And Varian for the longest time has been considered one of the greatest Tracer counters for obvious reasons.
Yep, he can parry her really fast auto attack speed. She can obviously lock her down with Taunt, which is a big deal with a targeted dash to get him in range to do so. Very effective against a Tracer that Germany are fielding here. And with the Brightwing, they're giving themselves a combination of potential PvE in the form of Greymane and some global to assist in the form of Brightwing.
Now, as much as I don't want to hear it in the first place, but Bakery, tell me some of the weaknesses that Varian has.
One of Varian's main weaknesses is that he tries to fill the role of a main tank, but he can never be a solo tank because he really lacks that hard engage to decide when you start a fight, and he lacks any form of escape. So while he's very tanky, you can have a lot of issues rotating around the map and moving him about in teamfights.
On the other hand, he's a formidable adversary against the Tracer and the Tassadar, most importantly, because by attacking him while he's protected, you give him another stack of overpower. And with those fast attacking heroes like Tracer and Tassadar, that is almost impossible to avoid. Now, we do see none of the mentioned heroes earlier. We see no Tassadar to really fit in the mix. What do you make of that?
Tassadar was in the first ban phase, and he, like you said, he would have been perfect. Would have been great.
Would have been good.
Tracer. Another hero who can work here is the Abathur if they wanted. But for now, they've gone for Gul'dan, and this is for the bottom lane. What you usually see lane set up on this map, because a lot of you, it's been a long time since you've seen it, is a single hero, usually rotating between top and mid, and potentially a 4-man in bot lane, or just a couple heroes and heroes roaming, some 1 or 2 heroes roaming around, grabbing those coins. Gul'dan, as we've seen, can be spectacular in those solo lanes as long as he has someone to keep him topped up.
It's going to be very interesting how we see these two teams play the map. Because when this map was last available, 2 teams in competitive play, we were still running 1-person bot, 4 people topside.
Tracer wasn't even out. She wasn't even out in the game yet.
Oh, she was.
Was she?
Yeah, she was out in the game.
Oh.
Tracer available, but we see the Junkrat from Hungary, actually. Kasi baiting on Twitter, completely destroying Nunia. And Probius as well.
Well then, good luck to analysis.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to have a great time analyzing these games, guys.
The reverse mind games coming in. Karsi and the Hungarian team acting scared of the potential Junkrat, only to snatch it away and put it in their own draft.
Yeah, and the counter to that is Probius. So if we're going by the standard 1-person in mid-top, is Probius the one to do that, to rotate? He does have very solid wave clear.
He has fantastic wave clear, but the one thing to watch out for, he is very vulnerable. And the Kazim pickup on the side of Hungary, the Brightwing as well. This is a scary team comp for Probius to play against.
Absolutely. Karazim just thrives when there is 1, 2, maybe even 3 squishy backliners. Chromie,
There are 3 backliners.
Exactly.
They're all squishy.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is not the first team I expected to see pick Probius. I was leaning to Poland, maybe. With
It was
Mana.
denied, though.
And
We gotta be fair.
Yeah, it got denied.
They didn't get a chance.
You get from Germany first.
All right. Germany's draft looks very wonky, and we can see the vote coming in now. Both teams actually not going for the most obvious of drafts. So the percentage is leaning heavily towards Hungary. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think Hungary have a solid draft. Other than the Junkrat, it looks fantastic. With the Junkrat, I'm not so sure about it. But on the other side, the triple squishy backline, it's very hard for me to put a vote of confidence in that.
You were talking about the lack of engage potential from Hungary. There is a good chance that potentially Junkrat could be that engage potential. Good minds could be the difference between splitting up the team and giving Varian a good person to engage upon, or between just Varian having to charge in, as would have been the case otherwise.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing we need to look at. With a Variant in the mix, you always want to go for picks. You want to go for quick executions. The Junkrat doesn't really have that until he gets level 10.
Yep.
Maybe, which heroic ability are we going to see in the first place? We haven't really seen...
Our first time seeing him, we don't know.
Yeah.
I would predict we're going to see Rocket Ride, purely because the Tracer has so much threat on him, and having the Karazim and the Brightwing completely free to dive on the rest of the team is an asset.
Gotcha.
I agree with that. I think the Rocket Ride could be really good, and I really do like the Junkrat being able to siege against that position holding Probius.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to find out which talent build we're going to see on the Junkrat, on the Probius. There are so many interesting heroes to keep an eye at, and Tetra is going to introduce us the German boys in the blues.
On the left-hand side, it is going to be Team Germany, and we have Brain playing the Gul'dan, Minx on the Rhaegar, Born on ETC, and then we have Nunia dancing away in between some Lageth on the Tracer, and Ribby is on the Probius.
And their opponents in this first game of the best of 3 is going to be Hungary with Nuti on that Bright Wing, Karsi. No, never mind, it is Fana on that Greyman. And in the bottom lane, we're going to be joined by Karsi on the Karazim. Hydra plays the Junkrat, a lot of eyes on him, and Dobos plays my baby boy, King Variant, first of his name, never dies in vain. So, I said it before, Karsi is one of my favorite players. He's played such an incredible tournament thus far. He's very active on social media, pumping up the crowd and trying to gain new fans, and so far he's successfully done it.
Yeah.
That Junkrat though.
That Junkrat though. He played the mind games, and let's see if it works out for him. But we have two, like we said, exciting heroes here. The Junkrat for starters, and we will talk about the talents because, like we said, this is going to be a lot of people's very first time seeing the hero. Starting off with the level 1, put some English on it, appropriate for our current location, Kendrick.
Absolutely.
But this is the extra travel distance of the frag grenade.
And this is normally the talent that will net you most value on average, because the other ones, you know, the bouncing against the wall to then get more damage, it's a little bit hard to get, you know, reliable damage value from it. So put some English on it, probably the go-to in most Junkrat builds these days. Look at Tracer though, by the way, going for the Tracer rounds to continue to have good vision on. And on who? I don't know, like you normally you use it against stealth heroes, but don't forget about the chasing capabilities if you chase someone who goes into bush areas.
Into the bushes or into the gates, and of course, that turn-in area does have the bush potential. So the other hero we're going to be keeping an eye on here is Probius, starting off with the Echo Pulse.
A bit of a dance
Very
party there.
simple. Yeah, a little dance party and a spray party. Hey, didn't it spray? Bakery will be pleased. As we do see...
is he actually on the concussion mine there, or...?
I think he was, but we do see Junkrat holding it.
That's actually a really sweet move here. Having a concussion mine on that turn-in point, only to trigger it when... just before the coins were paid. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's really cheeky. I'm a fan. But yeah, Probius with the Echo Pulse, so his Q will come back to him, get a chance of angling onto those objectives. And at level 4, he has gone for the Shield Capacitor, giving himself a little bit more sustain.
Absolutely, and Bakery mentioned it earlier during the draft. The old style of playing Blackheart's Bay used to be sending 4 people in the bottom lane and having some strong wave clear rotate between middle and top, and then take the lane clear from there. Tracer, in the meantime, got a kill on the Bright Wing. Very nicely done here. Nunia shows us why he is such a menace and such a feared player on the Tracer. She's definitely no slouch.
Yeah, very nicely done already. As we continue to see Probius rotating between this battle. Is round 2. I think he's off the point. I think he's off the point. So instead, we see Dubos is going to deny the turn in there. Junkrat at his level 4, going for Taste for Explosions. This is almost certainly the go-to in all of the games I have seen of Junkrat.
The more heroes you hit with your grenade launcher, the more damage you're going to be able to stack up. So
yeah, up to 100. Up to 0.5 for each grenade. They're not the easiest things to hit. They actually have relatively low hitboxes, but that changes later on, where you can either make your grenade spread or fire 3 at once.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, something I wanted to touch upon when looking at the Probius is the fact that all those pylons and cannons could potentially intercept those grenades that we just mentioned on the Junkrat. So, similar to a Li Ning was very dependent on her skill shots landing, it's going to be a quite tricky task to sometimes avoid hitting those structures.
I would argue that in some cases it might be preferable, because yeah, you want to kill off the heroes, but those structures are area controlling. So being able to deny that area control from Germany could be very useful, especially if you don't have to sacrifice any health for it.
Yeah, definitely true. Now, Ribby on that set, Probius, is going for a lot of wave clear, and that's definitely one of the key strengths that a Probius brings to the table. Later on, in those choke points, in those turn-in points, if you have the pylons positioned, you go for the overcharge. I mean,
we're back here again.
It's still a better love story than Twilight, to be honest.
Yeah. As we do see, Probius going for Rift Shock. If he's able to hit someone with his Rift Explosion, then he will increase his own damage against them for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
increasing it by 20%, which can be equal very high damage outputs as the game goes on if he's able to consistently land those warp rifts.
And you could already see how much of a zoning potential Junkrat can bring to the table. The steel trap, the concussion mine, you put those in the bushes, and all of a sudden, the enemy team will have to think twice about walking in there.
Yeah, and he's not exactly easy to kill either.
No, not at all.
He shuffles, he gets that little boost of movement speed once he's out of grenade, so he just drops damage, and then if Tracer tries to all in him, he can run away at a little bit of a faster speed. Finally, Carsey's going to turn in.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's exactly enough to get the first broadside from Captain Blackheart. And that's something we haven't seen in competitive Heroes of the Storm for a long time. And I can't wait to see how Team Hungary is going to play on from here. Experience lead overall actually in favor of Germany. However, that turn-in is going to swing things around quite a lot.
We do see Germany catching their siege giant camps. It is spotted by Carsey with that Earth ally, but he did not want to dive in against Born there. It would have been very risky.
Exactly. Look at those grenades. That is probably one of the greatest strengths of Junkrat as well. The insanely long range. His poke is second to none. And that actually comes to fruition on maps like Cursed Hollow, for instance, when if you have a Junkrat there, the tributes will be insanely hard to pick up. If you play it against Azari, you already know what it feels like, but Junkrat doubles and triples that even more.
Yes, he does. Junkrat has very solid poke as heroics are hit for Germany. Moshpit, we see the pylon overcharge, Horrify, the normal Tracer heroic, and the ancestral healing as Hungary get theirs as well. Let's see if our predictions were correct. Riptire coming in.
So that really shows how the scene hasn't really settled on their definite favorite. I mean, Bakery brought up strong points in favor of the rocket ride. Most importantly, of course, the late game cheese potential, the backdoor strategies oftentimes. And Brightwing was there in time, and they managed to destroy a, poor innocent little pro.
Oh, poor Probius. Yeah. He's just come back from BlizzCon. He had such a good time, and then he gets killed off by the lovely gank here. But yeah, we will see how well the Riptide goes. You actually mentioned the backdoor strat. I had to play against that for the first time recently. It's the first time I even found it existed. That is fun.
Yeah. But what many people also forget about the Rocket Ride is the fact that it can be used as an escape tool when you're about to get ganked and killed for certain, because you deny a lot of the
porting with damage.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the death timer is significantly lower than if you had fallen to the enemy's hand.
And the movement speed is good. If you want to keep on that rocket for a while, you can gain a little bit of mobility. This is all stuff we are going to find out potentially at a later date, but not for now, as Riptire is the name of the game, and the damage output from this
Riptire, of course, could be a crazy follow-up for the Variant taunt. I mean, we talked about the pickup potential. If Variant plus Brightwing managed to get a little bit of CC going, that Riptire could really ruin the day for the target that was just taunted without any potions.
Yeah, Brightwing, by the way, did go for the Emerald Wind as opposed to the Blink heal, which might have been for single target protection against Tracer, but the extra passive heal is always nice, and the Emerald Wind to disengage from said Tracer can still be huge.
And the ever-trusty concussion mine guarding the turn-in area next to Captain Black. I wonder if Captain Blackheart starts getting a little bit of anxious here when he sees that mine just standing in front of him all the time.
Yeah, he starts to get concerned. Yeah. Like, it's gonna go off eventually. I know this.
All right. We have yet to see a Riptire, though, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not gone down yet. We have yet to see a team fight. Once again, this map very PvE friendly.
Definitely true.
9
coins.
9 out of 12. Compared to, so far, 42 gems are currently being held by Germany.
Hello? What's been going on? That is crazy, but that is all due to the Junkrat. They can't go in.
Oh, that's amazing. If they lose, if they just take a team fight and they lose,
42.
So sad.
That is incredible. Wow. I wonder.
Yeah, for those who don't realize and wondering why you're surprised, we're looking at preview monitor and the preview stuff is just in front of the numbers, so I had to lean forward.
Exactly, and the thing is, though, it's not like Germany has been sitting idly there. They were trying to get structural value even without the turns, although Probius just got caught. Unfortunately, though, she was not the treasure master. She only had, or he only had a couple of coins.
Who is the treasure master?
Yeah, we want to see that. Like, we want to see who's big.
Oh, it's
Ming's
big.
definitely a rich Rhaegar.
The Rhaegar. He's got. There's a couple fives around.
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah,
Right.
Junkrat.
That's a nice move.
Very nice, using the grenade, and this is something you can do with Stitches as well as Junkrat and anyone else with knockback abilities.
Exactly.
Just move the mercenaries forward. Yeah, you're going to say they're going to keep damaging. They already outrange your towers. Put them in range so the towers can help you kill them.
All right.
He did go for Ripper Air, by the way, so he can actually get a little bit of an escape or some, I believe one of the players described it as YOLO potential with this talent.
So, let's take a look at some of the 13 talents as both teams. Oh, 17 coins. That is probably going to be it. There we go. Very well done.
He still has 43 coins.
Exactly. That was incredibly cool. So, that first turn is now going to seal the deal in the middle here. Probius had done a pretty good job at pushing middle and top at the same time. However, Team Hungary, they're not sitting in there idly. They're trying to get value elsewhere. While Tracer and Probius are to be found in the middle, they're going to turn on the heat here.
We do see Carsey fleeing away before ETC can lock him down. Once again, so far, no Riptires.
Yeah, no Riptires at all. They're waiting for the perfect moment to start it. I mean, Riptire's cooldown is long enough to not make it, you know, waste, or to not waste it against, let's say, a minion wave or mercenary camps. So you always have to have it ready in those big moments with a variant going in.
Carsey gets halfway through, but decides to rotate because
he's
his ally
elsewhere.
is in danger. Varian, protected by the way, turns on the Tracer. They're going to try and focus him down. The horrified future. Here comes the Riptire, and who picks one? Picks up one. Little bit of damage on spray, but the shield there able to keep him alive. Rhaegar also able to retreat. 21 gens currently being held by Nunia.
Yeah, that's a really cool move. Gul'dan actually went for the spell shield on his Fell Flame, and it really helps out against that burst damage that Junkrat could bring to the table here. Now, not a whole lot has happened. Both teams are mainly focusing on delivering the coins, especially Germany, with 35 still left in the bank, and there's no more Junkrat shenanigans in the middle to prevent that from happening.
Not yet, there isn't. Nuti teleport. He's going to bring a bomb to wherever he teleports to. Oh, he ice blocked. Nice! That was really cool.
That was really cool.
Teleport into a immediate ice block. That was
I'm not sure if it would have been enough damage in the first place because of that shield granted by the level 7 talent. But he just made it look good.
He made it look real.
Gotta look good on stream.
He made it look very good indeed. Probius, by the way, going for interference. If he's able to hit someone with Warp Rift, they lose 35% of their spell power.
All right, and the Hungarian team invading and stealing away the Siege Giants camps. Actually, both teams with a decent amount of coins now, able to turn in potentially. Dobos, though, he needs to scout the perimeter, and similar to the Tracer, what Bakery talked about earlier, Karzim is really good at destroying those treasure chests very quickly. 10 coins on him.
He is, and you can see Junkrat
this is really
poking
good.
and scouting. He has gone for the endless nades at his level 16, so cooldown reduction if he hits heroes, so ultimate poking and denial capabilities.
So Germany has played this game pretty well thus far, but I was going to say they need to get some value elsewhere. They basically could have suspected Hungary to go for a pain because none of their members were seen anywhere else on the map. And they basically went for that boss call too late, I feel. Hungary is too seasoned, too experienced of a team to fall for those tricks very likely.
Yes, and now it is going to be Hungary who will take the boss, and there is nothing that can really be done about this. Hungary will take this, and Germany, they lose out. They
don't even contest.
Well, they were taking it earlier, but it was 4v5 because they have 2 heroes in the bot lane. They're trying to gain value down there instead.
The problem is the pirate ship is still firing towards the blue German base there as well. And with that boss now in the mix, there's 2 things that a Hungarian team could do. A, they push with it, which is a little bit risky. Or B, they try to steal some mercenaries as well and try to prevent the turn-in, which is currently happening. Nunia, so many coins still left in his pockets.
He's got 16 coins. Varian is very far away. Dashes to a turret to give himself an escape route. Ryman comes in. The Emerald Window is interrupted.
Pylons are firing.
Pylons are firing, but the fight has ended as Banner will kill off that pylon.
The thing is, the fact that the German team had to defend the top lane against the red boss was probably the reason why they didn't even want to chase anyone down. I mean, Varian is not the ideal target to chase in the first place, especially when he's got that live by the sword to give him more cooldown reduction on the shield wall when he gets attacked.
And he was attacked a lot. That's why he has fun against Tracer on those occasions. but those shots are coming in. Both teams down to just their tier 2s, and relative, they're on even levels, but Hungary with about half a level's XP advantage.
Yeah, the German team is trying to establish a good position here. They want to nail their opponents down and get another turn. And Varian going in deep. Right wing, Nuti following immediately.
ETC very zoned out. And the Ancestral does not land as Nudia is trying to drop some damage, but with ETC dead, they are forced to retreat.
Picture-perfect execution by the Hungarian team. They waited for Varian to go in. He drew a lot of attention on him. ETC was trying to do the exact same thing, but the Ancestral wasn't there in time because Gul'dan just couldn't get the Horrify in time.
Yeah, couldn't get into that position to get the Horrify in time, and as such, another turn-in happens for Hungary here, with still a couple gems left in the bank. They weren't, however, able to get too many off of Denmark with Nunia. Once again, the coin bank here, still alive and still able to pick up some for his team.
All right, and it is now once again one of those moments where coin. Oh, that looked a little weird, but I'm not sure what Dobus wanted to charge there, but he's fine for now. But look at all that pressure on the bottom lane. Ribby, though, on that Probius, doing a good job of building up an additional defense line, if you will, on that Probius.
Yeah, and that's been a big part of them surviving through some of these engagements, and of course, forcing, preventing any extra pushing potential from Hungary. That's the joy of this map. You never have to push.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
But the thing is, though, the German team will be the one who has to make a move. If they continue to play like this, similar to Sky Temple sometimes, if you're behind in structures and you just wait to catch up sometimes, you're never going to be able to win because the opponents can just turn it again and they get more and more value over time. And 18 coins is now the magical number that the Hungarian team needs to land.
Yep, level
sitting at 11 right now.
Level 20 though is now available for
That's a good thing.
Level 20, sorry, available for Hungary. And well, Junkrat has gone for that upgrade to the Riptide, giving it a little bit of extra oomph, which is the name of the talent, giving it the extra knockback distance, and its cooldown is reduced by 20 seconds for each enemy hit.
That reminds me of a clip I've seen recently on a Falstad who went for those 5-bet Interland Blast and got...
Well, the thing is, this is kind of possible here
because
the cooldown on Riptide is 80 seconds, so he only needs to hit 4 heroes to get the Riptide back straight away.
Wonder if we're going to see any of those combos. They would certainly look good in stream, that's for sure.
Teams there is the slight amount of counter synergy potential with the Brightwing level
for
20.
sure. Yeah.
Just like, guys, let them group up. No, Brightwing. As Brightwing pushes them all away.
All right. All Variants found a target, but it is Nunia on that Tracer, and Tracer is still hard to kill, especially when there's no immediate follow-up for the Variant.
Yeah, Hungary still looking for kills, though, as Germany able to dance around. Germany currently in possession of 29 gems. Hungary actually 1 gem short of another turn in themselves, but there will be mercenaries on the map very shortly.
Absolutely.
To change that.
And don't forget about the small pirate camps as well. Blackheart's Bay has a very unique mechanic in those, meaning that they won't fight for you after you kill them, but they will still drop a couple of coins, so you leave them alone.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to just now as Brightwing picks up 2 more coins, and that will be enough for another turn in for Hungary. They're already taken down 1 keep of Germany with those shots, and it looks like they may
This is all in or nothing, I think, for the German team. They cannot afford to lose yet another keep by another broadside. Otherwise, their lanes are going to be so open, it will be easy for the Hungarian team to pick up a boss at some point, and that could then be very well lights out.
Here is the issue. Germany need to make something happen here. They're trying to force their way forward, but the longer they wait, the more of this happens. Grenades keep raining down. Catapults will begin to start pressuring the core with that keep down. Gul'dan is starting to deal with that, but that makes it a 4 versus 5. And Nuti is turning in.
Exactly. There's no way the Germans can break through this poking defense line granted by the Junkrat. Even Probius can't handle all that zoning and poking power.
They're trying, though. There's no pylons even. Probius finally puts one down. They're moving forward. They're trying to force, but it's too late. Nuti got the turn in, but he maced up for it, drops the Emerald Wind.
Here it comes!
They finish off 2. No damage, though. Turning it round. There's the Ancestral! Germany turning it round. Their keep is likely going to die in the top lane, but they're looking for more kills, trying to take down Carsten. They can't catch him.
Here's the question. Can they come back from all that PvE disadvantage they've got? I think they're going for the boss. They're not brave. Yeah, the thing is they're not brave enough to go for that all-deciding core call just yet. Tracer is good. That is correct against the core. But when there's no main tank, can you really afford to risk it?
And 3 versus 4 is still a winnable fight for Hungary, especially under core, so it's not not worth the risk here. Instead, we do see Germany going for that boss. The problem is they did lose that top keep. There is now still pressure coming in from that. Germany can't even afford to like run to the turn in here.
The fish.
Hungary are moving in. Riptide is already back. Here it comes. Carsey holding the line.
Oh
Knocks them off the point, but everyone's weird. Hungary steal the boss. Carsey escapes. Right wing dies. Carsey dies anyway. Nunia picks up so many kills, but okay, that grenade was very close. But now they're in a full health boss and an open core. Nunia needs to catch up to this boss and run damage.
Run.
Hit it, do the damage. They need to kill this boss outside the base. Start doing the damage.
Yeah, Nuni is in a real dilemma. On the one hand, he's got an abundance of coins. On the other hand, he's got the most single target DPS available, and they need to deal with this core. Otherwise, it could be lights out. It's such a tragic moment for the German team when they have so many coins in their pockets, but they just can't seem to use them. But what a team fight by the Hungarian team. That was an insane platform action fight by that team.
The boss is burned down. The potentially last-ditch effort for Germany gets shut down. And they still have 40 gems in their possession, but they can't get them in. The Junkrat shots continue to deny. If they can get this turn in, it's an open core. Then they're back in the running, but right now they're declearing. There's no boss now though, there's no end condition, and right now Hungary are only halfway towards having enough gems to turn in.
Absolutely true, absolutely true. And that is their major winning condition here right now. The Hungarian team, they can play the patience game. They just wait until 2 lanes are being pushed in by the catapults and the minions. Team Germany is gonna have to send 1 or 2 people to defend it, and boom, that's when they pay it.
Probius is going to be very good for defending this base, though. If they do have to leave someone behind, it might end up being him. In the meantime, though, more gems very slowly just ticking into the possession of Hungary. They've up to 12 out of 20, whereas Germany, they have 46 out of 14, so they're doing pretty well. 40 gems on Nunia alone here.
And once again, that's one of those moments where if you're the German team, you wished you would have a global hero to compensate the lack of structures you currently suffer from. The global hero could have also always taken care of the minions, only to arrive at that turn-in shrine, turn-in area, excuse me.
So Germany now have to contest the turn-in. There are now 22 gems, thanks to that chest spawn. They have to do something. They forced Carsey back, they denied the turn-in. They have to take a fight here, win it, potentially turn in and try and go for an end.
Born on that
and they need to do it
He
fast.
baited his opponents in earlier with that death mosh. A second time, it's not going to work that easily. So we're going to have to see how aggressively the ETC player wants to engage that potential team fight.
They can't wait around for too long. The longer they wait, the more catapults are going to build up for Hungary. They have to make a play. But how are they going to do that? ETC, he took the death box, like we said, not Bolt or anything like that. He's trying to move in. Tracer in the backline. Here comes the boss. It is good. Emerald's win. Won't it? The cleanse was good. 2 members go down immediately. We see Junkrat trying to drop some damage onto the backline. The Riptide was not able to finish.
The knockback.
Finally, we see Variant taken out as well. 2 kills to 0 as Carsey takes good grenade by Junkrat, but Tracer will be able to turn in. They could try and end here. Probius has returned to base. He will defend the core from the catapults. This could be Germany's chance.
This could be their chance. They got the turn in, that's for sure. It's probably going to give them a middle keep. That's already a big success, but can they get more of it? Can they squeeze in more value? It remains to be seen. My MVP in that last team fight was Minx, by the way, on that Regger. You saw the beautiful preemptive cleanse on that mosh pit, which really sealed the deal. Holy cow, was that a lot of damage on the Junkrat, though.
It was a lot of damage on the Junkrat, but he was dropped so low, he wasn't able to do the damage that he could, and he couldn't hit too many members with Riptide, so he didn't get the reset. Mid keep will be the only one to fall here. Germany moving forward. They find a trap here, so we will see Born turn around. They can now group up as 5 again. They also, now have control of the turn-in point, and that is a huge deal, because they still have so many gems.
They can go for another round, as Chan would say.
Another round. Yes. says Blackhearts, as they turn it in.
They can do it again and again. So we already can see the pattern that Team Germany is trying to enforce here. They're trying to establish a strong presence in the middle near Captain Blackheart, and it's going to be Team Hungary's objective to break through that. They do have the Junkrat, they do have a lot of zoning potential. If they can maybe drive them back and prevent them from turning in again and again and again, they can still stay in this game, but it's going to be easier said than done.
The other chance for Hungary here is to potentially move
Boss
to this
coming
boss.
back
And
soon.
That's what they're doing.
That's a good
It is
call.
just about to come off cooldown.
That's a good
10
call.
seconds away. However, they can't afford to wait around.
Germany knows about it too.
Immediate ports.
Yep.
Immediate ports. Germany knows that
know
boss
about it.
is a potential threat.
They can
so
threaten the back door.
they move to potentially move for core. And the boss has been started. They're moving in. Here's the commitment.
my
Probius
goodness.
speed boost has been used.
They need to abort.
We see the ports. They're moving away from the boss. And
Maybe
the
too
core
late.
is started. But
Tracer's
we
on
see
it.
Tracer take a shot from the keeper.
It's dropping so
very
fast.
temporarily slowed. Here comes the move in here. We see Brain, the Horrify, the Mosh Pit. It's going to stop them. That's it. They're admitting to move in. Nuni is unattended, though he's doing damage to the core from behind. That is GG. And we see Germany. They bring it. They bring it back.
Normally, us Germans were well known to be honest people. But this game felt like it was cheated almost because it was so many wonky elements in it. You saw the Junkrat battle against the Probius. You saw that sneaky backdoor call.
Yeah.
The German team didn't want to teamfight. They wanted to go for the sneaky way.
Yeah, they were very happy to just keep turning in.
Exactly.
But the second they realized that boss was started, it was just full commit. Horrify and Mosh Pit. Beautifully done. Bakery.
A fantastic counter call there because
Yeah.
the boss wasn't even up. Hungary didn't even start it. But Germany predicted they'll see us bot side. They'll think that's our boss. That's our ticket to win the game. And they predicted that and waltzed right through the mid lane and took the game.
Yeah, absolutely true. They basically utilized the tools they had. Team fighting, for the most part, didn't look so good. The Hungarians constantly proved that they were the better team in terms of synergy, in terms of engaging, and especially the Junkrat stalled the German team so hard when it came to Captain Blackheart's turning point.
Absolutely. So the first replay I have for you is actually just that. So as we get into it, it's 18 versus 18. Germany have tons and tons of gems. Oh, sorry, 15 versus 15. Now Fear comes down. It's not much is going to happen here.
Explosion.
Not really getting too much, and then people are going to disengage. But this is the story of the game. Germany have 35 coins, and they just cannot get them in. The next replay we're going to see is the 18 versus 18.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it this time. We're going to get right into it.
Yeah, we want to see more of the crazy mayhem. I think this game describes it perfectly. Like Junkrat's motto, it's all about the mayhem. This was 100%
We got
it.
ready for a little mayhem, and yeah, he did certainly do some damage.
Yeah, so as we move into this 18 versus 18 replay, we're going to see Varian. He needs to get the interrupt because Nuni's already paying. So he gets the Q, he charges in, but Nuni baits him in. But look what happens. Varian revives, uses the perfect Emerald Wind. Born on this ETC is completely split. Vega is not even close and just cannot get the Ancestral down in time to save him. ETC dies. And again, it's the story of the game. Germany have 30 coins and they are not getting paid in again and again.
And they actually were able to dive onto ETC on top of those Probius warp rifts, but because of that huge
Because Probius was miles away, he couldn't even pop those warp
he
rifts.
couldn't even get close thanks to that Emerald Wind of bribing. That Hungary, their execution in this game was insane, but it all comes down to just a couple team fights in the
Yeah,
end.
and
Absolutely.
our second replay, or sorry, third replay here for the day is going to be the boss fight that got absolutely... Oh, sorry, this is the 20 versus 20 turn-in. So Brightwing is going for the base. He gets it, and they're looking to disengage. But Junkrat actually accidentally knocks ETC in. However, he ends up out of position. The Viptide comes down. They blow him up. But Deathbot, they were so not ready for that. So they come out, a huge amount of damage coming from Tracer, a huge fear again, and two people instantly die. Absolutely no chance for Karshi to palm anyone there.
Yeah, Ribby going for a huge damage spike there with the Probius combo. Beautiful to see.
Yeah. You were talking about like Junkrat applying mayhem, accidentally pushing ETC into his team, and then killing the ETC for the death mosh. Like, the second one is potentially not his fault. It was a kill. They executed it, but that turned on them so hard.
And that is the importance of checking talents, especially ones like Deathmosh at level 20.
Yeah. Do we have another one?
No.
Okay, that was it. I mean, I would have liked to see another one, but I mean, there's only so much one man can do. And Bakery's doing a wonderful job here doing the replays, by the way. It's good to have you, man. So, for game number 2, the big question is going to be, if you're the Hungarian team, how do you play against a team like Germany that doesn't even want to team fight and that is so unpredictable in the drafts?
I mean, pick a map where it's less viable to do that, because that was the good map for not team fighting. Germany was able to avoid that because it's a PvE map.
Now, we said Hungary's strength was their preparation, but they did not look especially prepared for black cards. Germany had all of the coins all of the time, and they knew exactly how they wanted to play it. Hungary pulled it back with fantastic execution, but they could not close down the game.
Absolutely. So I think the choice of the